Stage, I usually have a Michael Jackson intro music which I come onto. It reminds me of a good friend of mine, Ravi Badranath, Indian cat from Durban who I studied with. Now, for those of you that don't know Ravi, which is all of you, loves Michael Jackson. So whenever he comes to town and we go out, he wears black shoes, white socks, black pants, white shirt, black waistcoat, white gloves with a black top hat. But come into the club and go, bah, smooth, right? I'm smooth. But not Ravi. No, he makes a weird sound. Come into the club and just go, bah, Guys, you laugh. That's going to be the best thing for your love life ever. You're going to be at home one night, your wife's sleeping, you want some action, you just go to a tap on the back. Baby, don't you want some
Wow, some tongue-in-cheek there. Well, he's one of the Mother City's favorite comedians and has managed to capture audiences with his clean-cut, energetic brand of comedy. He's Cape Town-born qualified teacher turned comedian Dalin Oliver, who is back with a few more lessons in his brand new stand-up comedy show, Face for Radio. Now, Face for Radio comes on the back end of the sold-out success of his debut one-man show, I Came, I Taught, I Left, which is directed by Stuart Taylor. Now, Oliver joins us now from our Seapoint studios in Cape Town to tell us more about his new show, which runs at the Baxter Theatre until the 9th of September. A very good morning to you, Danny. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, take us through your transition from teaching to comedy to radio. How did that come about?
Hi, some people. Yeah, thanks for having me live in Seapoint. Very interesting. So I started comedy in 2010. I was doing a BA at UCT, History and Politics major. I was bored of studying and I literally said, look, let's jot down a few funny thoughts. After that, I spent about an hour that evening writing down funny thoughts. Next day I told my buddies and my parents, look, I want to be a comedian. They laughed. They thought I was going through a phase. Fast forward a month later, in November 2010, I got my first gig. And then in 2012, qualified as a high school maths and history teacher. I knew I wasn't ready to teach yet. I did a short stint for 5 months and then knew, okay, I'm not ready for this. Yeah, it was interesting. I figured out new terms when I was teaching, like ADD, attention deficit disorder. But we all know locally amongst the kids, because of all the energy, it means all day temaka. So yeah, it was a fun stint. I enjoyed the education bit, but yeah, comedy was calling me and I enjoy the time on stage. It's the passion.
Now, indeed, speak to us about your previous show, I Came, I Taught, I Left. How did Cape Town respond to it?
Well, it was received extremely well. We had 2 successful sold-out runs at the Baxter Theatre in 2015 and 16. So we had a week-long run and then a 2-week-long run. Both stints sold out. We were also up in PE at the Opera House. That was a sold-out run. And then 3 successful years at the National Arts Festival. Audience members spanning from educators, those who are involved in education, lecturers, and everyone has gone to school or has been afforded that opportunity. So they could relate to the content that was being pushed out. And I feel it's similar with Face for Radio. It just has a good feel to it.
Now, you are also a radio presenter on Good Hope FM. And this show is quite interesting. You've named it Face for Radio. So you do have a face for radio. We're not supposed to see you, eh?
Yeah, well, the reason behind the name, the show has nothing to do with radio, but it's all about the title. Because think about to the days when you grew up, right? And you listened to these iconic radio voices. You developed images of them in your mind because we didn't have access to social media. So in your mind, you developed an image. Then you heard the voice. And you saw the two and you're like, whoa, this guy looks nothing like what he sounds. And this is what I experience now when people meet me. So a lot of people will tell me, yo, dude, it doesn't sound like you have such a big nose when you're on air. And I'm like, Face for Radio. I think I'm going to talk about this while on stage.
Now, Dalin, at what point did you discover that you were actually funny enough to take it to the stage? And who was there to cheer you on?
Yeah, well, look, you kind of have this gut feeling that says, I have funny bones. I think I'm that funny guy around my friends. But translating that humor onto stage is extremely difficult. So what happens is you literally get up onto stage, your parents, your friends, everyone supports you. And slowly but surely you start finding your voice. You start figuring out the craft. And through so many performances of failure in numerous comedy clubs, people not laughing, and those jarring punches that you keep taking. It just builds character, and eventually you figure it out and start finding your voice, your identity on stage. Your stories become personal stories and not just jokes that you're telling. And once you start finding your voice on stage and just telling the stories that people can relate to, you kind of figure it out and realize, not that bad at this, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, fortunately, it's been cool so far.
And what are some of the issues that you address in Face for Radio, and why are these issues so close to your heart?
Well, Face for Radio is a really cool show. It's a milestone show if you look at it. It's my 10th year post-matric. I matriculated in 2007. So what happens when milestone years happen, you start reflecting and looking at your life situation compared to your friends. Like, my friends are real adults. I am nowhere near where they are. They've got real responsibilities and commitments like families. My biggest commitment is a cell phone contract, and the daughter's cheating on me. I don't even trust that. Adult-wise, I've got one peg in my flat. It's not for my laundry, it's for the chips, to keep the chips closed. You know what I mean? I was at a Model C school and a non-Model C school. So I chat about my Caucasian buddy, his mom organizing a play date with my friend's mom. You know, in the hood, we don't have a play date.
Yeah.
So now this play date concept is new. We have 2 to 3 hours from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock to maximize friendship. How do you deal with this, you know? So it's really cool throwback issues that a lot of people can relate to, and the response has been awesome so far. 7 shows later into the first week, and we had sold out shows over the weekend, and Cape Townians are laughing, man. And I'm really looking forward to the next 2 weeks. They must pop in, come have a laugh.
Yeah, and the show is directed by Stuart Taylor. How would you describe your relationship with Stuart?
Stuart's been awesome because he directed my first show as well. I came, I taught, I left. So there's a real trust relationship. We worked together before when I toured with him as his opening act in East London and did some theatre stints in Cape Town in previous years. So that relationship's good on and off stage. I think one of the most valuable lessons that he's taught me is the economy of words. You know, getting to the punchline as quickly as possible and not muttering over too many words, being concise and allowing audience members to understand what you're saying. It's been a fruitful relationship, and yeah, I'm really fortunate to have him in my career as a mentor and now as a friend. Yes, Stuart, you are a friend now.
Well, Dalin, keep them laughing. Thank you so much for your time, eh?
Thanks so much. All the best, Bibi. Cheers, man.
All right, cheers, Baba. Cape Town-born qualified teacher turned comedian Dalin Oliver speaking to us about his brand new stand-up comedy show, Face for Radio, running at the Baxter Theatre in Cape Town until the 9th of September. Well,